So I think it's about time I take a look at the main mobile suit from Witch of Mercury, the Aerial. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, not a fan of the model. I like the mobile suit in the show, but I feel this is a step backwards from the Lfrith, which we had initially. It's not as refined as the Lfrith. It looks good. I like the colors. I like the more pastel blue. Stickers aren't egregious. You do have a couple that are annoying, like the shoulders, and this one here on what could be called a buckler, but it is another gun bit. I like the tampo printing ones on the chest, just like the Lfrith. You could use stickers instead with the clear pieces, but why not just use these? They're so cool. And you can barely see the ones in the chest. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the Lfrith. Does that not look like Gurren Lagann? Like a Gurren Lagann torso? You got the eyeballs, you got the mouth. I wouldn't mind seeing the repaint of this into like Gurren Lagann, maybe a little bit of modification with the head. Give it some drills. I'd be down with that. Oh, and also the stickers here on this one. Ugh, they didn't have to do that. Kind of annoying. In terms of its articulation, once again, I'm going to refer to the Lfrith. It is similar. I'm assuming they're using some of the parts, or at least mimicking some of the parts. My weakest point is the thighs. Not much out, and not much in terms of... They go inwards more than outwards. All you have to do, I think, is to cut this white part and expose the entire thigh joint, which we've had before, so I don't really see a big deal why they didn't do that initially. I think they want to make sure it looks more feminine. It's got the thicker thighs. Also, these knees are a little weird. They sometimes, because it's a double joint in a weird spot. I feel the joint should be higher up here, but it's lower, and so sometimes it gets caught on the armor. Just a little nitpick. That's not a huge deal. And some people have been mentioning the clip here. It's like a C-clip in the ankle. I guess they're in other points and other models. I haven't built a whole bunch of Witch of Mercury kits, but I guess they're stressing and some breaking. I haven't had that problem, but that is annoying that people are having that problem. And now we have to get to the weapons, which is probably my most annoying point on the model. The beam sabers are the same. You got the same blue beams, no big deal there. The beam rifle is similar. You have, I don't think it's as big a beam effect for the beam saber. You do have a little clip here you can peg on here and store it, which I personally like the Lfrith better. It's weird. This takes up less space because it doesn't stick out as far, but I just kind of like it like that. It's different, but personal preference. And then we have to get to the 11 possibly dead babies in the room, and that is the gun bits. So you have 11. You got the ones with the shoulders. I like the fact that they kind of look like armor, where the other one, you could definitely tell they were like meant for something else. These look a little more inconspicuous. But you got the ones on the shoulders, and you got the ones on the forearms. Of course, you got the 3 on the back, which you could say they're binders. They don't stick out that much. Like, you could say they're just like extra binders. Actually, no, there's 5 here, because these separate. I like how they separate. They're kind of cool, and these just flip in. That's a nice little bit of engineering. You normally see in like a master grade, so that's kind of neat. And then you got the ones on the hips. And so we got all the little babies here, ready to go, ready to fire, ready to do the Aerial's bidding. If you watch the show, you'll understand that. And how do you connect them? If you remember the Lfrith, they just go right together. They were very thin, and they still slot together. But you gotta use that. You have to use this adapter piece to connect everything. Is that not a step backwards compared to the Lfrith? I really feel the Lfrith was designed after the Aerial, and they just, because they couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, this really is really annoying. I'm not happy with this, the way that you have to actually put everything onto this thing in order to make the shield. But let's go back. These have to go back into here, so I guess I should have left them up, but whatevs. So these are okay. These are perfect. This is the way it should be. They should just be able to slide together. And then we gotta start pegging everything onto here. Not a fan. Not a fan. So we'll just start plugging everything in. I'm just looking at the instructions. I've only done this once, because it bugged me so much I didn't want to do it again. The fact that they just dropped the ball. And they didn't have to, but they did. Let's put that one on first. Get those going on. They connect like really well once they're on there. There's no complaints. I think I have to put this on after. But it's just having this whole little like armature to connect everything is really something you'd see about 10 years ago. So I don't know what. Yeah, I just don't get it. But I'm not gonna complain with how it looks, because I really do like the overall look of the shield. It looks like a nice shield, very colorful. You got a little bit of the yellow in there, and yeah, it fits on the arm fine. So that's what you get with your Gundam Aerial. But then, what do you do with open hands? You don't have any open hands, and then if you watch the show, the Aerial likes to have its hand out when it's casting its gun bit spell. So we gotta bring in another model. Yes, and if you want extra hands, you gotta bring in something else. And so Bandai gave us the Mirasol Flight Unit, which by itself, it's actually pretty good. I'm not a fan of the colors. Like, it's for the Aerial. It was made in the episode for the Aerial specifically before it blew up during the fight. Like, sure, they rushed it, but they made this thing out of a pile of... They made it in a cave with a bunch of scraps, and they didn't paint it. Or at least they did paint it, and they made it look like this. So, yeah, it could have been, like, matching colors. I could do it myself. Maybe I will. But just taking a look at it, I really do like it. These are ball jointed here on the thruster, and then on these binders. But they do go together pretty flush, and they can keep them stationary or pull them apart to get that ball joint going. So you can get some good flight action. You got the thrusters there. Quite a few little stickers, all this little white, those are stickers. You got some other ones inside these verniers, which, this is so cool. Just little teeny pop out. And there's several little stickers. There's, I think about 8 little gray ones and little black ones. I personally, like, obviously speed was a factor in that episode, but I would have gone for micro missiles. That would have been so cool, little pop out here and then just fire out. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. But no, it's cool in its own right. I really don't have much of a complaint. And to attach it, you do have to take off the Aerial's backpack. I'm not sure if it did it in the show. I don't think they actually showed it. Did they show it being put on? I have no idea. But it looks good. I do like it. Once again, I gotta paint it. I'm gonna have to. What I really like, this was a really cool job. They just take these off, and you can put the beam sabers in the binders. You got these little. They gave us a little tab. You can get your fingernail in, and you just store them in there. That is such a good idea. So the Aerial still has the melee. I mean, it still has the beam rifle, but it has the beam sabers as well to, if it gets the beam rifle destroyed, which it does happen, so, yeah. And we got the oh so important open hands. Woo, Bandai, whoa, yeah. Big hand for Bandai, giving us open hands on another model kit for another model kit. God, do you remember when the 00 Gundam came out in 2008? And it had, I'm pretty sure it had a couple different sets of hands. And that thing was like 1,200 yen? This thing's like twice the price almost, and I mean, it's definitely twice the price with this, but like by itself it's close to twice the price of the 00, and it just doesn't seem to have as much, I guess, cost changes and everything, but you could at least give us one open hand would have been nice, just one. Sometimes they've done that with old kits, they give you one open hand. I would have been happy with one open hand, but the two are nice because it does replicate a couple poses from the anime, I think the opening specifically. One thing I gotta bring back with the stickers. See these here? I didn't use them. Those are for these parts. Now, why bother putting these? I can only imagine they wanted you to have that little line detailing picked out without using paint or a marker or something to make those lines, but it's like, what's the point? The color's already there. I'm not gonna make it a slightly different shade of gray with stickers. That's just weird. So with this backpack, I like the Aerial more than I did, but still not as much as the Lfrith, because I think you can actually give this to the Lfrith if you want, which I might do, but if this thing had a nice little coat of paint to match the pastel blue, I think I'd like it even more. So yeah, Aerial just feels like a downgrade to the Lfrith in terms of the model, and that's kind of disappointing since it is the flagship mobile suit of Witch from Mercury.